Hi, welcome to Learning Studio Zone. This is me Sudesh Ahmed. As we have seen most of the people learning English language and a lot of institute for it, yet people are quite keen to learn English language. So why is it so? That if you want the development, so you need to learn English language. And that's not just in a country, it's all over the world. So in today's video lecture, we are going to discuss how English become a global language and why people are going to learn English language and why English is called the elite class language. So let's know. Yes, the humans started learning from each other. They started learning different languages. For instance, the real essence of Holy Quran can be learned by learning Arabic language, and the Bible is translated to different languages. So, learning the languages has the undeniable importance. From 2001 assessment, we have 7,106 languages exist all over the world. Day by day, the world is developing, and because of globalization, people need to communicate and trade with each other. And this is necessary to have a single language where people can communicate and speak and talk with each other. So nowadays, the language is English language, and English is called the global language. But whenever a language is becoming a global language, so it will have some reason that this language will have a rich literature, or the nation will be developed nation, or it will be a superpower, or this nation will have trade all over the world. Here, a question arises that is English the first global language? So the answer is no, because before the English language there are two prominent languages, the Greek and Latin, which has ruled all over the world. That in the time of Roman Empire, these languages were dominant all over the world. But after the fall of Roman Empire, these languages disappeared and the English language took place of these. So, to truly understand the dominance of English language as a global language, we must delve into a journey back to its origin, that its origin lies in the Germanic tribe of early medieval England. In 410 AD, the three Germanic tribes, the Angles, Saxons, and Jutes, came to the Roman states and defeated the Roman state and started their region. They started the alphabets from the Roman and started their literature. So, the language of Britain plus language of Germanic tribe combined and made a language that's called the Old English language. At that time, the great literary work, the poem Beowulf, presented in more than 3,000 lines, and the English named as because of the land of England. In 1066 AD, the William I with the 7,000 Norman soldiers came into the England and defeated the Harold Godwinson, and the era of Anglo-Saxons and the Anglo-Norman era started. And the age is also called the Middle English language. So the Old English language plus French language combined together and made a new language that is called the Middle English language. In 14th century, Geoffrey Chaucer, known as the father of English literature, came and worked into three different periods, the English, French, and Latin. And at that time also the printing press was came and all literary work was printed into the English language. In 15th century, the Shakespeare came and brought a change in the world of English literature, and his works spread all over the world, and literature of English spread. Yes, the turning point in global English expansion came with the rise of British Empire in 16th century, as the British Empire colonized all the world and most of the territories, as they colonized the America, Africa, India, the North America, and also colonized the Caribbean. So at that places, at that territories, they also led the English as the language of administration, the language of education, and the language of trade. And from this point, the English laid its foundation as a global dominance. The Industrial Revolution of 18th and 19th century further accelerated the global dominance of English language, as at the time the British became the epicenter of science and technology and industry and innovation. So the scientific discovery and technological advancement and the idea of capitalism propelled the English language into the highest stage of the world. as the British colonialism after World War II. In 1922, the British Empire was the most powerful empire at that time and ruled 25% territory of the world. And at that time, there were a proverb that sun never set in the British Empire because if there was a sunset in Australia, so the morning was in India. So at that time, in New Zealand, Australia, Malaysia, Singapore, India, Pakistan, UK, Africa, and America, if there someone want to have an elite class job, so it's essential for them to learn English language. So at that time, English was called the elite class language. In 1950, the British started leaving all these countries, but English remained an official language in all these territories. In America, there were Spanish, British and French colonies, but when they get the independence from British, so they realized that there must be a simple and important language for them to have their national identities. So in 1923, the Supreme Court of America ordered that in their academic purpose, there will be only English language. So, as per rule, when a country is dominant, so their culture should be dominant all over the world. So in the World War II, so the America, British and the France get victory and defeated the other countries like Japan, Germany and Italy. So they get the victory and the America became the superpower and their culture dominant all over the world. And with the help of capitalism philosophy, the America started trade all over the world and they spread their culture all over the world. However, the spread of English was not only driven by the political and economic factor, but with the cultural influence of the states like United States and the different developed countries, they played a significant role in spreading the English language, and they adopted the English language and spread the English language all over the world and get the prestige of English language and its dominance. After the World War II, every country faced the economic crashes, but America stand as a superpower. So at that time, the top university and schools uh, transmitted their academic language as English language. And there were a statement at that time, if the Germany and if the Hitler had won this war, so might the Germanic language will be the global language. But America stand as a superpower and they have got the victory. So now English is a global language right now. The rise of internet and the digital communication served as a catalyst for the English dominance all over the world, as the English became the language of digital age and a choice for the global communication. As America started development in the technological field, so in 1980 and 1990, the English spread and begged all the languages because America invented YouTube, the Twitter, and the Apple, Facebook, etc., and the Google also. So they invented all these things and also ruled all over the world in the technological field and dominates the English language because they invented the computer and computer has the alphabet and the English languages. So English spread it all over the world through the technological instruments as computer, and they also developed the smartphones as mobile and spread their keyboards in English alphabets all over the world. As most of the software we have, as the world 63% software and websites we have in the English languages. So they developed their language through the technological fields and instruments. So through the invention of internet and Google, America burned the candle for English as a global language. If we really delve into the mystery of English as a global language, so the basic journey of English language starts from the 17th century when the British imperialism started. So there a question arises that was there any global language before English language? So the answer is yes, because at that time before the English language we were having the two prominent and the dominant languages as the Greek and the Latin languages. A linguistic professor from the University of Chicago states that the Latin was the world first recorded language as a global language, and even it had ruled more than the English language as it had ruled for 1300 years. As at the Roman Empire, the Western European cities were having the Latin languages, but after the fall of Roman Empire, the Latin language parted into a different language like Spanish, Italian, and French language. And after it's parted, the English language stepped and uh, did the development in the field of languages and became a global language. Might a question will arise in your mind about the future of English as a global language. So, looking ahead, the future of English language is both promising and uncertain because there are many possibilities that in future might the English be limited and the new power took place uh, of the English language. So the Chinese and Russian can take its place because we have seen that the dynamic power can be changed at any time. Why? The dominance of English language shows that till 100 years there is no other language like Chinese or Mandarin that took place of English as a global language. As no language possesses the potential challenges to its hegemony because of English adaptability and flexibility. So might English language can stand a global language for a long time. So thank you for joining me on this linguistic journey and hope you have gained the valuable insight into the fascinating journey of how English became a global language. So do subscribe my channel and click the bell icon for more videos related to linguistic, literature and general knowledge.